the Japanese way of life, Zen, Shintoism. They said after retirement, your life has to begin anew, afresh, in whatever you feel like doing. It should be your passion. I had to. It was a dense jungle, terrific underbrush.
But now this is a garden.
It has to be made into a garden. So this was in the middle of a jungle in those days. 100 years back, there were no roads. There were canals built by the Dutch, connecting to rice fields. We are on camera now?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Okay. So, I am Dilip Vishwanathan, and I have a checkered career history. I retired as the additional chief mechanical and electrical engineer of the port of Mumbai in 2016, and my passion was always to do something more than what you are working for, much more to give more back to society. So even when I was working with the port, I've done so many things out of the way, beyond my capacity and beyond anybody's dreams, breaking all rules and regulations to get something good for the employees of the port as well as for outsiders who could enjoy the past history of the port. The port had a checkered history. The city of Mumbai was built around the port. So I had the opportunity to go through each and every record of the port, right from 1800s till date, and found so much of history and stories in it that I felt that this should be known to the world. So my story started from there. And whatever I did, people came and interviewed me from the media, from the newspapers, and they liked what I was doing for society and for others, and including the port. So I, along with my regular job, in which I have done quite a bit for the port, I used to find time for all other activities.
Nice.
So my job was never a 9 to 5 job and you go to office and come back in the evening. Okay, within that time, if you have finished your work as fast as possible, you can do other things also to add value to what you're doing for the organization, for its employees, and for outsiders also.
Nice.
So that's how when I retired, I had an opportunity for doing a lot of work, which I did for a year or so. I did a lot of consultancy work in my sphere of activity, but I didn't really like it. I said after retirement, your life has to begin anew, afresh, in whatever you feel like doing. It should be your passion. Follow your passion, follow your goals diligently, religiously, and you will achieve whatever you want. So an opportunity came knocking on my doors, that my aunt said, you take over this ancestral property, there's nobody to take over it. It's beautiful, you have to protect it, never sell it off, never do it, but preserve it, preserve its stories, preserve its identity, preserve its culture for what it was. And when the family started here around 100 years back, my grandmother used to invite everybody, the poor of the village, for a Saturday meal, which they used to provide grain and all the other things, and the people from around, the people who were working on the land, used to come and cook and have a meal, spend some time here. My grandmother used to conduct religious discourses, call somebody who will read the Bhagavatam or the Ramayana or Mahabharata, and people used to enjoy, This was in the middle of a jungle in those days. 100 years back, there were no roads, there were canals built by the Dutch, connecting to rice fields. There were only waterways, there was no roads. People had to walk here, people had to wade through water, people had to go by boat to school. And those were the days when there was no electricity. Life starts when your kerosene lamp gets over,
Yeah.
and before the kerosene lamp gets over, people have to sit and study or do whatever they want, say their prayers and go off to sleep. So it used to be an electrifying, life-giving experience to get up in the morning to see sunlight. And the whole place used to come live with all the kids jumping around and everybody active in running the household.
Yeah.
So I said that this should be sustained. So came back here, then my children said, you are here, if you are going to develop this place into a beautiful garden. That was my father's passion. Gardening was my father's passion. Roses were my father's passion. He had a beautiful rose garden in a small bungalow on the terrace and around the house. He grew all the best vegetables and all the fruit trees. We enjoyed all the fruits.
This is in Mumbai?
In Pune.
Pune.
Yes.
Okay.
And in those days also, when he landed up in Pune, he was a scientist and he was posted everywhere. When he finally landed up in Pune, it was out on the outskirts of the city. There was no city around in those places. You could see for miles, and it's only now that the city has engulfed the old place where we were staying, and it's part of the city now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you have said a lot of things, and in which what struck me is to preserve and sustain the beauty, the nature, right? This
yes,
place,
yeah,
and you are committed to it.
I am definitely committed to it because this is the Japanese way of life.
Which is-
Zen, Shintoism.
Oh, what is it?
They worship nature. If you go to Japan, the temple is built with just maybe a deity of Buddha in its Shinto form, and their prayers are very simple. The temple is in a place where it is just like that. They even preserve everything, nothing is done. And it's very simple. You clap 3 times, pray, light 2 agarbatis, and again clap 3 times, bow 3 times, and there will be a board where you can write a piece, your wish to be granted, and then put it there clip it there on that board. That's all.
Nothing is added to that ritual anymore.
Yes, it's going on for centuries. And they love nature. Everything is preserved in Japan. The beauty as it is appears everywhere. That is why if you see any place in Japan, everything is minimalistic, but it is beautiful.
Yeah, talking
So
about
I
minimalism-
thought that in this land, which is in Kerala, in this place, 9 times of the year it rains. It's ridden with mosquitoes and a lot of water bodies because it rains 9 times of the year. And how do I live in this? So we came here, we worked on after retirement, we worked on the house property, we sort of made it livable, There was just one bathroom and the kitchen was like a chulha, stove, adupu, and all that. So the whole thing had to be redone. This project started a few years before retirement when the house came in my name, and we continued with that. Every year I had to come and take my father to the hospital because he was suffering from prostate cancer. Every month, and so every alternate month I used to come and take him to the hospital, and that 1 week period gave me time to do all this, slowly work on this, plan it out and all that. So by the time I retired, I could concentrate on my project and complete it. And that's how things have shaped out well. I had to, it was a dense jungle, terrific underbrush.
But now this is a garden.
It has to be made into a garden. So, and then my kids started saying, do something here. Since you're shifted here, you have to keep yourself occupied. It's tough to make your spouse understands the value of life in a countryside, is much, much better than the value of life and what it can give you in a city.